What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Paul and Theology's daily devotional. I know it hasn't been daily for a little bit. I've been out from surgery, but I'm glad to be back. And things are going well, man. It's a lot better than I assumed originally. Just to give you an update on what's happening and how I feel. But the leg is doing well. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to start learning how to walk again and being able to be without crutches. So that's a blessing from God, definitely, that it wasn't as bad. And hopefully I'll be able to get back into the van and be able to do all the things that God has called me to do, to work with the people that I work with and to live the lifestyle that he's called me to. So hopefully that stuff is going to go down a lot sooner than I assumed. But that's just enough for the update, man. Let's go and jump back in, man. Hope you guys have been reading a little bit of John before, so you already know what I'm about to say a little bit before I actually get into the scriptures, man. So if not, man, well, we're here to jump in again. It's a new year, and we're going to read the scriptures to the glory of God, to learn more about him and to gain more trust in him. And that's what this ministry is, Trust in Jesus Ministries. If your first time, we want to help you to trust in Jesus for the first time, or to continue to trust in him if you already have trusted him for salvation, just to trust in him in every aspect of your life, because he's he's well worth the trust. Man, let's go ahead and jump into it. It's John chapter 11, verse 33 through 35. That's where we left off. So what's going on? That's the first question. What's going on? Well, Jesus has previously talked with Mary and Martha about the situation, or they've come to him technically, and they've said, "If you were here, Jesus, my brother wouldn't have died." And then in this last one, he says, "Don't you know that you would see the glory of God?" He said to them before that this is to bring the glory of God. We've seen that Jesus is taking some situations that may not seem great. Matter of fact, they are horrible because of the death of their brother, the sickness that ended up in death of their brother. Well, Jesus says because he loved him, he waited a couple of days and then he went there. And now we're going to see how he's going to display this love. And the way he displays it so that they can see his glory. They can see who God is manifested in the person of Jesus. And so when he says these things, Jesus sees them crying. He sees all the people weeping because Mary's out there with him, and the people that came with Mary are ceremonial or friends who have come to weep with her, to share in her sadness, to grieve with her. And so they're all crying. And Jesus, because of this crying, is stirred in his spirit. It says that he's angry in his spirit. Some of the translations may say something like he is troubled or something, but the word is actually angry. It's he's frustrated and mad, and he's trembling in his spirit because of this when he sees the people crying. And then he says, "Take me to the body," and they take him there. And it says when he gets there, he weeps. Jesus cries. The shortest verse in all of the Bible and the English versions. Jesus wept. So what does this say about God? Well, I think what it says is the anger and the frustration, and ultimately the crying of Jesus was the hate that he has for sin and death. Like the anger that he has is that this would happen because of sin in the lives of the people, and death because of sin. Yeah, I think this is his anger towards that. And then next, I think he weeps because he shares in our grief. Not only does he understand and know that, and he said it before, he said that this is not for the sickness doesn't lead to death. He knows what he's about to do. He knows that he's going to raise Lazarus, and Lazarus is going to be alive and with his family again. But still he weeps over this death because he shares in the pain and the suffering that we go to. God understands our grief. He knows what it is, and so he shares in it with us. What does this say about man? Is that he knows our sorrow. Like we sometimes think nobody knows how we feel, but the God of the universe does. And he did it in such a way, not only to just know intellectually or understand because he knows all things, but he actually came down to this planet and lived a life and went through it as a physical or experiential reality. And so God knows our plight intellectually or just from knowing, because he knows all things. And because of that, it would be understandable. But then he experienced those things. And so we can show God our sorrow in the midst of this. We can show God and know God understands where we are. How do we apply these truths to our lives, man? Well, understanding that he understands it, knows it, and hates it, man, then we can trust him to take care of it. And he has done so already, as we're going to read later on. He has taken care of sin and death. And it's for us to just trust in him to do that. So where in your life is there problems that are significant that we think that God doesn't understand or can't comprehend? Man, recognize that he does. See that he knows our plight. He knows our sadness. He knows our anger. He knows our grief. And then let him walk through that with us. Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening, man. It's good to be back, and I will hope to see you in the next episode as we continue our journey through John.